The Paul R. Cheesebro Honorary Class of 14 Salutatorian Award is awarded each year to a member of the graduating class who has demonstrated excellence in scholarship in a rigorous academic program over a 3-year period. This year, our salutatorian is Yuncheng Harvey Guo. Harvey has taken the most academically rigorous path available at Hun, completing AP and post-AP coursework across every discipline. He will also graduate with a special honors distinction for his independent research through our Scholars Program. His project, Stories of the Afterlife, is a rich multimedia exploration of philosophical approaches to mortality and meaning, reflecting his deep intellectual curiosity and his passion for philosophy. But Harvey's love of learning doesn't end there. He's taken multiple English seminars, AP Latin, served as president of the Philosophy Club, and pursued summer study at Columbia and Yale, delving into topics ranging from neurobiology to the philosophy of love. He's also been a national competitor in Latin Certimen, an archival intern, and a research assistant in both law and theology. Harvey is a true humanities scholar, thoughtful, composed, and endlessly inquisitive. He brings wisdom to every room he enters, and we know he will carry that same spirit into everything that he does next, especially as he matriculates to Brown University. It is my great honor to present the Hun School's salutatorian for the class of 2025, Harvey Guo.
Just 1 second. Hi, everyone. Before I started writing this speech, I was reminded that the word salutatorian came from the Latin word meaning to greet. So the Hun Classics department has prepared me well for this moment. And my role today is to offer my salutations and to welcome everyone who has come here today to celebrate the graduating class of 25. So once again, good morning, and thank you all for being here today. Along that same train of thought, I also thought about how the graduation ceremony is referred to as commencement. Okay, this one didn't take 3 years of Latin to figure out, but today is the day we commence our lives beyond high school, the day we look to the future with excitement. And many of us have goals, some of us even concrete plans for what they want to do for the next decade or more of their lives. I think we're all very excited to see where we end up in a few years' time. Now, there are many things that made our time at Hun special. You can name many different things, but I like to point to the relationships we built with our teachers. Our faculty's involvement in every kind of student activity gave us opportunities to know them as more than instructors in this classroom. The Res Life community made many of them family to some of us, and for those of us who took advantage of extra help after school, that was often when our teachers' supportive mentorship had the most influence on us. I remember one particular after-school conversation I sat in on. It took place in room 113, an English classroom I'm sure many of us are very familiar with by now. This classroom infamously has no windows or functional clock, which could take your mind off the passage of time while you're in there. And it's become one of my favorite places on campus over the last couple of years. Dr. Busey and a few students were talking about how we end up losing sight of experiences and growth when we're too focused on achievement and goals. We as students complete assignments for the grade that we want. We enroll in classes because of the credits they give us. To some extent, we've curated some of our hobbies and interests to build our resumes. It's perhaps a necessary evil, or not really an evil at all. We agree that it was unfortunate nonetheless. It seems that doing something for the sake of doing that very thing has become a rare practice. In Mr. Schaffner's AP Literature class, we were given a piece of advice on how to write essays. What we tend to do is determine the argument we want to make before looking for the right textual evidence to support it. But that is, in Mr. Schaffner's words, unscientific. Instead, what we should do is examine the evidence closely and then come up with an argument by noticing interesting details. The same goes for scientific research. Sure, we have a hypothesis going into an experiment, predicting what the outcome might suggest. But hypotheses can be refuted. There's nothing wrong with envisioning an end result. We must also expect our hypotheses to go unsupported sometimes. Data collection is what leads to a conclusion, after all. Hermann Hesse wrote in his book Siddhartha, seeking means having a goal. Finding means being free, being receptive, and having no goal. Now, I'm by no means saying that we should all abandon our goals and dreams, but I do think it's important for us to stop and consider what it would be like if we discovered our futures rather than chase them. I imagine chasing after something for the rest of life would be pretty exhausting. In many ways, graduation is a day of beginnings and endings, yet it is certainly not identical to the beginning or ending any of us envisioned when we first set foot on this campus. In the spirit of Room 113's timeless quality, I say we stop thinking about the course of our lives so linearly. Our lives shouldn't be a ticking clock counting down to some big final moment, but rather a collection of meaningful experiences that don't necessarily fit nicely into an outline. I'd say that makes life much more exciting. Thank you very much.